Hi kids, Mr. Burwanger here, coming to you from Mr. B's Music Room. Today in the music room we are going to discuss clefs. A clef is a musical symbol that indicates the pitch of a written note. What that means is, when you see a particular clef, it tells you the names of the lines and spaces on the staff. You're probably most familiar with the treble clef. The treble clef is the one that is every good boy does fine, E, G, B, D, F, and on the spaces face, F, A, C, E. Now some of the instruments that read the treble clef are, in the woodwind family, the flute, in the brass family, the trumpet, and in the string family, the violin. They all read the treble clef, and there are many more, and I encourage you to look up those instruments to see what instruments read the treble clef. Now, those are all higher pitched instruments. What about the low instruments that have to read the low notes? If you used only the treble clef, it gets kind of sloppy because you have to use what are called ledger lines. And when you have all these ledger lines off the bottom of the staff, it gets really hard to read and really difficult for the player. So someone came up with a really cool invention. It is called the bass clef. Yes, there is a clef for those lower instruments. This is the bass clef. It changes the names of the lines and spaces so it's easier for those lower instruments to read. For example, if you played in the brass family the trombone, you would read bass clef. Or, my personal favorite, in the string family, if you played double bass, you would read bass clef. Now, just like in treble clef, there is a way to remember all these names of these lines and spaces. So in bass clef you have on the lines G, B, D, F, and A, and in the spaces A, C, E, and G. There are two little poems that you can use to memorize those lines and spaces. For the lines, you can use G good, B boys, D do, F fine, A always. Good boys do fine always. Those are the lines on the bass clef. For the spaces, my personal favorite, A all, C cows, E eat, and G grass. On the spaces, all cows eat grass. A, C, E, G. So just remember these two nifty little poems or sayings. For the spaces, all cows eat grass, A, C, E, G. And on the lines, good boys do fine always, G, B, D, F, A. And you'll be reading bass clef in no time. Now, I don't want you to think that bass clef and treble clef aren't buddies. They're really good friends. And you might have noticed on my drawings of the staffs, there's a note below the treble clef and there's a note above the bass clef. That is their common friend, and it's their mutual friend. Its name is middle C. So when you have the lower instruments reading off the bass clef, as you go higher, you hit middle C and you go over to the treble clef. So middle C combines the bass and the treble clef. So this week I want you to remember good boys do fine always for the lines, all cows eat grass for the spaces, and I encourage you to look up different instruments in the brass, woodwind, and string family and figure out what clef they read from. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and most important, be kind.